The world is watching closely as Donald Trump, once again at the center of global attention, turns his focus toward India. But this time, it's not India's booming tech sector or its growing economic clout that has caught his eye. Instead, Trump is zeroing in on something far more complex: India's deep and enduring ties with Russia, a relationship that stretches back decades and has weathered countless geopolitical storms. Trump sees India's relationship with Russia as a strategic problem, not just a relic of the Cold War era. He believes that in today's tense global climate, old alliances can't be ignored or brushed aside. For Trump, every partnership is a potential bargaining chip, or a liability. In his black and white worldview, a true U.S. partner shouldn't be so close to America's rival. Trump's approach leaves little room for nuance, demanding clear lines and firm choices. The stakes are higher than ever. India is central to America's Indo-Pacific strategy, serving as a crucial counterweight to China's growing influence in the region. The U.S. counts on India as a partner in military exercises, intelligence sharing, and regional stability. Any rift between Washington and New Delhi could hand Beijing a major strategic advantage, shifting the balance of power in Asia and beyond. China is watching these developments with keen interest, ready to exploit any cracks in the U.S.-India alliance. Trump, ever the deal-maker, is prepared to disrupt the status quo. He's not afraid to pressure India, pushing it to make tough choices and pick a side in the global power struggle. For India, this is more than just another diplomatic challenge. It's a test of its cherished strategic autonomy, the ability to chart its own course without being forced into anyone's camp. India's historic ties with Russia are woven into its national identity, from defense cooperation to energy deals. Yet its partnership with the U.S. is increasingly vital for its economic growth, security, and global standing. In the coming months, India's diplomatic skills will be put to the ultimate test as it navigates Trump's unpredictable and high-stakes approach, balancing old friendships with new realities. The world waits and watches. Will this moment spark a dramatic showdown, or will it become a masterclass in negotiation and statecraft on the global stage? To truly grasp the complexities of today's tensions between India, Russia, and the West, we need to look back to the Cold War, a time when the world was sharply divided between two superpowers. Although India declared itself non-aligned, it found a steadfast and reliable partner in Moscow, especially when Western nations hesitated to engage or offer support. Soviet support, particularly in defense and technology, helped cement a bond that has endured for generations, shaping India's strategic landscape. Even today, India's military infrastructure is deeply intertwined with Russian technology. The Air Force flies Russian jets, the Army operates Russian tanks, and countless spare parts and upgrades still come from Moscow. Replacing these systems would take decades, cost billions, and disrupt India's defense readiness. Beyond defense, Russia is a vital energy partner. As India's economy grows, Moscow supplies discounted oil, helping to fuel industries and keep energy prices stable for millions of Indians. For India, this relationship isn't just about economics or convenience. It's about national security, strategic autonomy, and ensuring a reliable supply of critical resources. The partnership also extends to global politics. India and Russia share a vision for a multipolar world where power is balanced and not dominated by a single superpower, giving both countries more room to maneuver on the world stage. This shared outlook fosters a sense of comfort and trust between New Delhi and Moscow, making their diplomatic ties resilient even in turbulent times. Over the decades, their partnership has been built on mutual respect, shared interests, and a history of standing by each other, not just transactional deals or fleeting agreements. Untangling these deep-rooted ties is no simple task. Any pressure from the U.S. or other Western powers must reckon with this long, intertwined history and the trust that has developed over decades. For India, Russia is far more than just a vendor of arms or oil. It's a strategic pillar, a partner that has stood the test of time. That's why, even as global alliances shift and new pressures emerge, the India-Russia relationship continues to endure, adapting to new realities while honoring its deep roots. Washington sees India's Russian ties as a problem, especially under Trump. Every major Indian arms deal with Moscow is a lost sale for U.S. defense firms and a blow to American strategy. The Pentagon worries Russian tech in India's arsenal could compromise U.S. secrets. Trump's transactional approach frames this as a question of loyalty. Why fund America's rival? He may demand India pick a side, ignoring the complex history behind New Delhi's choices. This sets up a confrontation: align with the US or keep business with Russia. For Trump, ambiguity is unacceptable. Trump's playbook is classic pressure, persuasion, and if needed, escalation. He could threaten sanctions under CAATSA, ending waivers and sparking a crisis, or he might dangle irresistible deals, advanced US weapons, better trade terms, to lure India away from Russia. If neither works, Trump could escalate to tariffs, risking a trade war. Each move carries risks. Too much pressure could push India closer to Russia and China. Most likely, Trump will mix threats with offers, keeping India guessing. For Indian diplomats, this means preparing for everything, from warm handshakes to harsh tweets. Navigating Trump's unpredictability will test India's diplomatic agility. US-India ties are vital but complicated. Both need each other to counter China, deepening military and strategic cooperation. Yet differences persist over Russia, trade, and climate policy. The US wants India to buy American arms and align on Russia. India insists on autonomy. Disagreements over tariffs and visas add friction. This partnership is a delicate dance, mutual need, but no willingness to sacrifice core interests. The central challenge: balancing shared goals with divergent priorities. The US-India relationship thrives on managing, not erasing, these tensions. For India, foreign policy is a tightrope walk. The US offers technology and leverage against China, but demands loyalty. Russia is a reliable, long-term friend, essential for defense and energy. India refuses to pick sides, abstaining on Ukraine votes and balancing military exercises with both powers. This strategic autonomy is risky in a polarized world, especially with Trump's black-and-white thinking. He may see India's balancing as indecision, not diplomacy. India's challenge: prove its Russian ties don't undermine its US partnership. Convincing Washington of this is India's diplomatic test. What's next for the relationship between Washington and New Delhi? With Trump's approach, the future could bring confrontation and uncertainty, or it could force both sides to find new ground for compromise. If the US chooses sanctions or triggers a trade war, it risks pushing India closer to Russia and China, a strategic setback for American interests in Asia and beyond. The smarter path forward is through pragmatic negotiation and mutual respect. Recognizing that India's long-standing ties with Russia won't disappear overnight, while also encouraging India to demonstrate its commitment to deepening its partnership with the West. This gradual alignment, rather than a sudden rupture, is the key to lasting cooperation. Both nations must keep their eyes on the bigger picture, working together to balance China's growing influence in the region. The US should strive to become India's most reliable partner, not punish India for its historical alliances. The real challenge lies in managing disagreements openly and constructively, not simply avoiding them. Patience, strategic empathy, and a willingness to listen are essential for progress. The US must respect India's autonomy and independent decision-making. At the same time, India must recognize that its choices have significant consequences for its relationship with Washington. With open, honest dialogue and a focus on shared interests and values, the US-India partnership can not only survive but truly thrive, no matter who occupies the White House or what challenges lie ahead.